To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Robert Smith.
You know, when I am sitting out in the audience waiting for the next speaker, and the next speaker heads for the podium with a binder, I get scared. You don't have to be afraid of me. We are all here because we love someone or because we have loved someone. Good for us. Good for us. Thomas Goldwyn Smith was my dad. He died July 5th, 1982. My mother was Margaret Elizabeth Smith. She died June 25th, 2002. There are two sons, my brother Dave and me. Thank you to the Board of Directors of Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame for accepting the application to have our dad, Thomas G. Smith, admitted to the Baseball Hall of Fame as the founder of Little League Baseball in Steinbach. Our congratulations we extend our congratulations to all of the other inductees here tonight as well. Thank you. Thank you to Wes Keating. Wes Keating is here with his wife Ann tonight. Thank you, Wes, for all your assistance in working with us in preparing this application. Wes is the former sports editor of the Steinbach Carolyn News. Many of you may know that. So baseball. All right, baseball is skill, determination, some strategy. We love it. What we're hearing tonight, though, is that it's more than that. The speakers, one after the other, now you're getting me, are talking about character, the deep stuff, the friendships, the family, all a part of the baseball experience. So good, so special. Look at us. We're baseball people. That feels good. That feels good. So I'm gonna take you on a little trip to another place. You have to know that this is a big deal for our family and friends. There's a bunch of us here. My brother Dave from Kelowna, Dave's son Lance, and Lance's daughter Magdalene from Gabriola, BC. Boy, I sure butchered that, eh? Gabriola. Dave's daughter Tara and her son Logan from Campbell River, BC. My beloved spouse Maggie, our children, Jen, her spouse Lance, and their sons Liam and Tommy from Winnipeg. Julia and her daughter Margot from Vancouver. Julia's spouse Ross and her two boys, Teddy and Lewis, are conspicuous by their absence, but they have a good excuse. They're playing baseball in Vancouver, and their baseball schedule did not permit them to come to this celebration. You got to give them that. Cousin Marge, her husband Terry from Williams Lake. So it's a big deal. People from a lot of places remembering Thomas G. Smith. My dad was born in Killarney. As a young man, he played baseball, we think in Killarney, maybe in Mather. His mother was a Howard, the Howard's Farm near Mather. When Thomas Goldwyn Smith was 20, playing the game he loved, he slid into third base. The baseball diamonds then, as we all, I think, here can appreciate, were not so well manicured as some of the diamonds are today. My dad's leg was cut. It became infected. It then was amputated above his knee. In those days, no penicillin. When we think hard about this, we think that penicillin would have saved our dad's leg. So, then what? He became a sports guy. It was still in him. Baseball in the summer, hockey in the winter. Baseball, his favorite sport. We played spring, summer, and fall. My dad's involvement in sports was ongoing after his injury, but now always walking with the cane. He was the organizer, the coach, the manager, the groundskeeper, the transportation person. In 1946, our dad was transferred to Steinbach, serving there as the manager of the Royal Bank. In 1956, he founded Steinbach Little League. At first, we played on the schoolyards. Originally, there were 3 teams: the Red Sox, the Blue Sox, the Black Sox. We weren't that good at looking for new names. Soon, the league expanded to 6 teams: the White Sox and the Green Sox. I don't know what the other team was, but there were 6 teams. A highlight of the year was sending an all-star team for those who wanted to play more seriously and longer to the Manitoba Little League tournament held each year in Winnipeg at the end of July. Eventually, space was secured at the Steinbach Fairgrounds for a Little League diamond, our own diamond. This was special. We all had to bike to the fairgrounds Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for our games and for our practices. Think about a little town on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday night, on a Saturday. Lots of us come from little towns. All these kids in their uniforms heading to the fairgrounds to play baseball. It was a deal. The program thrived and grew. If anyone wanted to play Little League Baseball in Steinbach, to get a uniform, all players had to fundraise. Each player needed to sell 12 cans of Planters peanuts. I don't know how that happened, Planters peanuts. And each player needed to attend the work bees required for maintaining our very own diamond. My dad's sons grew too old for Little League. Eventually, Tommy Smith left the program. He left the program in good hands. Many of you here may have heard or may know some of the family of George Pauls and some of the family of Jim Mutchison. That's Jim Jr. I'm talking about Jim Mutchison, the older guy. Both George and Jim grew the Little League program in Steinbach and made it better. I'm not sure how this works, but I think if my dad would be aware of this ceremony, he would be all smiles. I have grandsons. They would be my dad's great-grandsons. In Vancouver, 2 of them play baseball, serious baseball. In Winnipeg, I have had grandsons playing baseball. My dad would be smiles. So, just to spare you more agony, my time in the sunshine is coming to an end. That said, I would like to read you some of the comments contained in the supporting letters that accompanied the application to have T.G. Smith admitted to the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame. From an author, a poet, I'd like to sing the praises of T.G. Smith. Before Mr. Smith founded Little League Baseball in Steinbach, there was no organized baseball, no coaching. Suddenly, here was a man, at least it seemed sudden to me, purchasing uniforms and bats and balls and asking young boys if they were interested in playing regularly and in an organized way. Right off, 3 teams, the Blacks, the Reds, the Blues. We played regular league games, playoffs, and tournaments. This was all highly exciting for me, especially the tournaments where bleachers contained more than just parents. It was as close to big time as I would ever get. I can't overstate the impact this had on young boys like myself. An impact on self-confidence, on teamwork and cooperation. It played a significant part in my development into adulthood. At the center, guiding all of this, encouraging us, teaching us, was T.G. Smith. He was a positive man, recognizing little things we might do well to get us through challenges. He fought for us. My father was quite a religious man and had some doubts about me playing professionally like this, wearing a uniform. I remember at a July tournament, at a crucial part of the championship game, he wanted me to withdraw so I could attend a church event. I was so sad. TG, as I always called him, spoke quietly with my father behind the bleachers, and I was allowed one more inning, the last inning as it turned out. I went to the plate with a renewed enthusiasm and hit a 2-run homer to win the game. This is one of those moments I'll never forget. It was TG who made it happen. He was a diplomat who didn't ruffle anyone's feathers, including my father's. He was always working for the kids. From a land planner. These guys have all retired, by the way. Retired land planner. We drove to the baseball diamond on our bikes. We practiced and played on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. As long as we were having fun and learning the game, T.G. Smith was happy. At many games, he was the umpire, the coach, and the umpire. He did this even though he had an artificial leg and used a cane to walk. He never complained about his disability or let it hold him back. I was never, this is from a businessman and a politician. I was never much of an athlete, but that did not make any difference to me. That did not make any difference to me and to Mr. Smith. We all got to play, and he would always be teaching us the finer points of the game. One practice, I showed up wearing a new set of cowboy boots. I was really proud of these boots. I still remember how Mr. Smith looked at me in disbelief. But without much being said, he sent me out to play first base. He knew that this kid would learn a lesson very quickly. Cowboy boots are good, but no good when playing baseball. Now, at 76 years of age, I still remember the lesson he taught me. Think things through before you act, and sometimes you have to let people learn from their own mistakes. From a lawyer, Mr. Smith taught us discipline. We had to play according to the rules and follow the rules of the team and the league. We learned the benefits of team play. It was the team that counted. It made us better, and we tried to make the team better. Sometimes we even achieved that. We learned about the advantages of effort. If we wanted to be better ball players, we had to work at it. It did not just happen. Darn, we even had to work to get the financing to play so that everyone in town could play, not just the rich kids. We had to sell Planters peanuts to help pay for the expenses of the league. That was not my favorite part, but I now recognize that that was necessary. That was a valuable lesson for a young lad. All of this was done while we were having fun. What great fun. Without T.G. Smith, summer would not have had this joy. From a teacher, I joined Mr. Smith in his Little League program when I was 9 or 10. This was the beginning of a lifetime love of sport, especially baseball. He taught me how to play the game, how to be a team player, and to always try to do the best I could be. It is because of Mr. Smith that I spent 55 years playing baseball, softball, and slow pitch, finally retiring from active sport when I turned 65. I eventually became a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame with the Steinbach Millers baseball team, as did many others who went through the Steinbach Little League program. Throughout my life, Mr. Smith acted as a mentor to me. I owe my career and wonderful family life to him. Whenever I experienced problems, I would seek his help. Mr. Smith, seek his help and advice. Mr. Smith was a builder of sport and of men. So I promised you that I would eventually end. We're pretty much there. This is from a social worker, a lay minister, a Winnipeg person. It's a poem. I don't know why he wrote it, but you're here, and you're going to get to hear it now. So, T.G. Smith rode into town. Forbidden walls came down, tumbling down. Walls that divided faith from fun were breached, set boredom's caftets on the run. T.G. knew the loss of limb, but the game remained inside of him. He shared the joy he used to know with hundreds more to play and grow. The killjoy stood against his vision, spreading turmoil and division, but he opened up a door. Youthful passion wanted more. His vision over many years has built up youth and blessed the town. The legacy he left behind is shared by thousands more because a man refused to quit and opened up a door. So that was the baseball door. And that's a poem. My final comment, my final reading is this. I cannot speak more highly of the character of T.G. Smith. His reputation as a bank manager was stellar. My parents were clients of the Royal Bank and always spoke of him with respect. My father passed away at the age of 40, just after my 16th birthday. I was the oldest of 3 children. My mother was widowed at 38. T.J. Smith became somewhat of a father figure to me for many years thereafter. Before I left Steinbach, I recall my mother speaking about how much she appreciated the kindness and support she continued to receive from Mr. Smith following her husband's death. So, Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame. Thank you for today, all of you. Thank you for today too. Special being in this place with a bunch of people who are honoring special people in their lives and paying homage to a game that has made a difference somehow in us, made a difference in our lives. So, thanks for honoring our family.
Right here.
One more time.
Landscape, Murray. Landscape. Hey? Landscape.